Good day and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be reviewing a Ball official railroad standard pocket watch. Watch My Service is my channel, and you can contact me at jdwatchservice@gmail.com if you have any questions about my service or you're interested in me doing some servicing for you. I am a hobbyist. I don't do this for a living. I am a hobbyist, but I do enjoy working on pocket watches. This specific watch was provided to me by a gentleman named Bori, and shout out to Bori for allowing me to work on this watch. It has a few issues, but we're going to have a look at this watch and look at the history of the Ball Watch Company. Okay, so the Ball Watch Company really was responsible for the start of the standards for the railroad pocket watch. As you can see here, I put up the clip so you can read it yourself, or just pause your YouTube video and read it, but I'll read it for you right now in case you just want to close your eyes and relax. So the gentleman in the picture is Webb C. Ball. So he was born in Fredericktown, Ohio in 6th of October 1847. That was a couple of years ago. He became a jeweler and a watchmaker. When standard time was first adopted in 1883, he was the first jeweler to use time signals, bringing accurate time to Cleveland, Ohio. After the infamous collision between the Lakeshore and Michigan Southern Railways in Kipton, Ohio, which allegedly occurred because the engineer, I'm one of those, engineer's watch had stopped unnoticed for 5 minutes. The railroad officials commissioned, there was a major accident because of this, and the railroad officials commissioned Webb C. Ball as their general time inspector in order to establish precision standards and reliable timepiece inspection systems for the railroad watches. The Ball Company did not manufacture watches directly, but the company helped develop the specifications for the watches used by all the other companies in the railroad service, right? And the Webb Ball established strict guidelines for the manufacturing of sturdy, reliable precision timepieces, including resistance to magnetism, reliability of timekeeping in 5 positions, isochronism, power reserve, accompanied with record keeping of the reliability of the watch on each regular inspection. So, and let me just move on here. So the Waltham Watch Company complied immediately with the requirements of Ball's guidelines, later followed by the Elgin Watch Company and most other American manufacturers. Later on, joined by some Swiss watch manufacturers, the Ball Watch Company branded the distributed watches made by Hamilton, Waltham, Illinois, Elgin, E. Howard, and Hampton. Watches marked Ball and Co. are much more difficult to find than those marked Ball Watch Co. Ball watches are today some of the most collectible of the American railroad pocket watches. Today's criteria for certification of each officially certified chronometer are still based upon Webb C. Ball's standards. At the end of his career, Webb C. Ball was overseeing 125,000 miles of rail track in the U.S., Mexico, and Canada, right behind me, having greatly contributed to the security of all railroad systems and avoiding accidents by keeping your watch set. The colloquial phrase "on the ball" purportedly derives from Webb C. Ball's watch standards and their reputation for accuracy. And I'm told, and again, I hate to say correct me if I'm wrong, but correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm looking at plus or minus 15 seconds a week was the initial standard for a railroad grade pocket watch, brand new out of the box and able to meet those standards. So I'm going to have show a little quick couple of views of this Ball railroad grade pocket watch. It's a really, really interesting piece. So let's dip into this watch for a second. But before we do that, if you look up here, let me see if I can do this. See that little, look at the name of the company right there, Ball. So this building I found on the internet was where the Ball Company, watch company, operated from. So, and that was in Ohio. Right, just starting off with this gorgeous watch. On the face, it says Ball Official Railroad Standard Cleveland, Ohio. It's in a gorgeous case. And this case is decorated, maybe machine cut, but decorated finely. And there's a little area here for the owner to put their initials. And I doesn't say gold filled, so there is a chance that this case is gold. So it doesn't say gold filled on it, but it's a gorgeous, gorgeous case. Usually they would say gold filled if they were gold filled, and it doesn't. So very, very impressive. So the face has got a 12 and 24-hour clock on there for accurate timekeeping and precision. It's got large numbers, as you can see, 1 through 12. And then in the center, it says 18 in here. So, and who knows why it says 18. Wait a second. It's because you're counting around the clock. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. The 17 and the 19, the lettering is a bit chopped off to leave room for the sunken second dial on this watch. So gorgeous, gorgeous pocket watch. It's not wound right now because it needs service. It's a lever set pocket watch. This is the lever right over here, and you'd pull that out to set the time on the watch. And then you just turn the crown and the time would set on this watch. So it's a lever set pocket watch. So let's close this up a bit and have a look at the movement. So the movement, see if I can open this with my little fingernails. So there we go. It's got a dust cover on it. And there is writing on the inside here. And if I look very closely at this, I can read what that says. So written in the center is Philadelphia Watch Case Company with a crown, and that's on the back of the case. And it's a beautiful, beautiful dust cover here. And on the dust cover it says guaranteed 20 years. So guaranteed 20 years does mean that this watch would be gold filled. So it's guaranteed that the gold that's flashed onto the watch on the case would remain on there for at least 20 years, and it wouldn't wear through, so you could see the metal that's on the inside, which might be nickel, a variant of nickel on the inside of that watch case. So anyway, I'm not an expert on this stuff, but just play one on TV. So there's the movement itself. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous movement, and let's have a look at the details in the movement. Okay, here's the movement itself. On here it says Ball Watch Co., Cleveland. It's a 19 jewel adjusted pocket watch. It's got 4 jewels on the top here and the equivalent on the bottom half of the watch movement. It's got a trademark right over here that says RR, so that's Railroad. And that trademark here is this is official standard. So this was their mark, the Ball mark. It's got a very complex regulator here. You in fact turn this little screw here to move the regulator to speed the watch up and to slow it down. So if you turn this clockwise, it's going to speed the watch up by pushing this way, and then the regulator will move in this direction here, which will virtually shorten the length of the hairspring. So it's a very complex regulator, and it's got gold settings that you can see. So that's a nice feature. And really the gold settings are decoration more than functional. The jewels are rubies in this watch, and it's sitting nicely in this case. So this movement is, I believe it's from 1905. So I've got the table for these watches and when they're made, and the serial number starts with a B, and the B watches, serial numbers that started with a B. This is a 202676, I believe, 202676B, and which means it was a Waltham made pocket watch. So commissioned by Ball, or Waltham used the Ball standard for the railroad grade, saying this is a Ball standard railroad grade pocket watch. So there's the movement there. I did not wind up this movement. As you can see, there is movement on the balance, which is always good, which may mean that there's no issues with the pivots on the upper and lower part of this watch. I believe there is a problem with this watch though, because when I received it, I wound it up ever so slightly and it would stall a bit. So there may be an issue with this watch that I've got to dig into. So I'll be servicing this watch, stripping it down, and I'll make a video of the teardown of this watch and then building it back up. So these are highly collectible pocket watches. highly desirable pocket watches. This one here is gorgeous. It's got a very nice case. Not a lot of scratches on it. It could do with a little bit of a polish. You don't want to over polish the pocket watch though, because you're going to remove gold from this pocket watch if you do that. So you want to be very careful if you're going to shine this watch up. You're better off just using a simple cloth like this that you can buy online or whatever, and just rub it just gently with a cloth like so, and that will shine the watch up nicely. So, and there you go. And if you're not an expert at polishing, there's a chance of you removing too much gold from the watch, resulting in the gold being so thin that you're going to see the next piece of material or metal underneath that gold, because this is probably flashed on gold, and there's probably a nickel kind of compound. That's the next metal in this watch. And I've told you guys millions of times, I'm an electrical engineer, and I'm not a mineralogist or whatever those guys are called. A metallurgist? I don't know what they're called. Anyway, so don't trust me. And as you can see, even rubbing it just a bit puts a little bit of black on the cloth here, so it's getting rid of a bit of the dirt that's on there, just by taking this clean cloth and rubbing it down. See, now it's got a fairly nice shine in it. Anyway, that's the Ball pocket watch that I'll be working on. It's a gorgeous piece. Let me just open the case up again here and have a look at the face. There's the face of this watch. Face the nation. So Ball official railroad standard, and that RR is on the inside, and that little inlaid piece of brass, I believe. Cleveland. So this was the standard for pocket watches. This is a very, very nice piece, and we'll be spending some time working on this piece in the next week or so. So there you go. This is just a quick look at the Ball railroad standard pocket watch, and this is the Waltham made pocket watch. I don't know if it was commissioned by Ball or whether Waltham just made them, and because they complied with the Webb C. Ball standard for time, for being an official railroad standard pocket watch, that they basically called it a Ball watch. And inside you can't see the name Waltham anywhere. Maybe when I take the plates off on the inside there will be the name Waltham there. So, and the building behind me says Ball on it, so it probably was the standards office for the railroad industry. So, because the railroad industry commissioned the Ball company, the Ball Watch Company, to maintain those standards for the watches, and that was, I guess, a very bad accident. You can Google that, search for that accident that happened in the U.S. between the Lake Shore and the Michigan Southern Railway at Kipton, Ohio. And I guess it killed a lot of people and caused them to recognize that the conductors should be setting the time. That's why this watch is lever set as well. So if you pull that out and you set the time on this watch, the only way to change the time on this watch is intentionally moving the lever out. So if you're a railroad engineer and you're given the watch in the morning and it's preset through the standards, and you're using Morse code or whatever signaling they use to actually set the watches, you would not be allowed to touch this lever here to reset that watch at any time. You'd be given the watch, and I believe it was reset every morning, but I'm not absolutely sure about that either. You can leave some comments and give me a little bit more research on the railroad grade watches, but you wouldn't touch that because it's preset, and all the watches on the line would be preset so that the movement of the trains and the use of the tracks were all coordinated, so you wouldn't have one train heading directly for another train. So it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool watch. I'm going to service this and get it running really well again, and I'll record all the servicing as well. So you'll be entertained by the strip down and build up of a Ball official railroad standard pocket watch. And if that isn't entertaining, I don't know. I don't even know why you'd bother going to Netflix when you could watch that. Don't bother. Just watch me do this watch work. It could be interesting. Anyway, thanks a lot. Don't forget to like my channel. Give me a thumb up or something. And if you've got any comments, please send in your comments as well. If you've got any questions for me, you can email me at jdwatchservice@gmail.com. And thank you very much for subscribing to my channel, and please spread it around. I'm enjoying doing this, and I will continue as long as you continue liking it. So thanks a lot, and see you next time.